time for everyone to learn
no fingers.
the ways of the Force. All right. I'm Jake.
I'm Gozie.
I'm Kyle.
And since this week is kind of another slow news week, a.k.a. they're not dropping any solo stuff on us. Besides, we got an official synopsis which said everything we already knew. He hangs out with Lando, meets Chewie. That's all it
Steals
said.
the Millennium Falcon.
And they released an official version of the logo that they already had on the poster. So don't ask me.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's straight up just
It's
black
official.
Solo, a Star Wars story, and it comes out in 4 months. So instead of talking about news this week, we're doing a special.
We're going back to 1999.
1999. We're gonna have a.
We're not partying like it's 1999, Gozie.
No, because yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what that guy would do. He'd just make his cheeks wiggle.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name.
That's the thing about 1999, the Phantom Menace.
So great.
So we're going to butter up your biscuits and get going on talking about the Phantom Menace.
Yes.
All right. So we'll ease it in.
It starts in a galaxy.
No, hold on.
Away.
Oh, I was going to ease it in before we talk about the movie.
Oh.
We'll talk about the mania of 1999. Everyone thought the world was going to end. And then we realized we get a new Star Wars movie. We were all children at the time, 9 years old.
The same age as Anakin in the movie.
Throw that out there.
Yes,
There was a merchandising storm, I remember. They had like Pepsi cans, they had Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, the works was all Phantom Menace stuff. It was awesome. I had a lot of it.
A lot.
Yeah.
I
So
believe that, Jake.
no, yeah.
I do too.
I went to Taco Bell, got all the sweet stuff. I even got all that Jar Jar stuff.
I love Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Don't you? Don't talk bad about him.
Yeah, we grew up with this movie, so you're going to hear us actually say good things about the Phantom Menace and also make fun of it
There's
a
a lot
lot.
of awfulness
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
which
Alright.
is George Lucas's fault. Everything that's wrong with it is his fault.
Yeah. So now
Everything good with it is not his fault. That's the actors. That's the actor's fault for doing good.
now that your biscuits are buttered up, you want to ease us in now, Gozie? Talk about the movie since you just watched it today.
Just a few 20 minutes ago I finished. It was pretty great. It starts a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. There was the opening scroll.
A lot of people were not happy about this opening crawl for this movie because it said a bunch of nonsense.
Well, yeah, it's true. It did say a bunch of nonsense. Yeah. So I thought I missed something, so I stopped it and reread it and was like, nope, didn't forget anything, just there's nothing there.
The dispute of trade routes, blah, blah, blah.
Blockades and...
Yeah.
The Federation, man, those weird-looking...
Which I never... Obviously, it didn't bother us as kids.
Nope.
We didn't give a shit.
Newt.
Well, I wasn't reading it when I was a kid. I was just like,
Yeah. All right,
just like that.
This movie does start out pretty sweet, though, because you're introduced to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So.
Just wrecking droids.
Yeah. And you saw them, use crazy powers you've never seen Jedi use. Yeah. They use their, weird super speed that somehow no one else has ever used in a movie. Yeah.
Well, I mean... Yeah, how come Darth Vader walks so weird? I get he's a robot, but he's got the Force. Wouldn't that just make him fluid?
Because he's a badass.
Sure. He just lumbers around.
And
it's just like the cool guys walking away from an explosion,
Yeah.
He's just so more cool, calm, collected. Is kind of scary.
Yeah.
He's not very collected.
Or
that's for another time.
Or serial killers in movies. They walk real slow, but they somehow always get to their target.
Well, that's because their targets always run upstairs to places where you can't escape. So
yeah, that's true.
This is a weird Phantom Menace review.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, so about that movie.
And in the beginning, I thought it was super cool when like they're hiding behind the door, Newt Gunray and those people, and Qui-Gon's like, "Screw your door," and he's like shoving his lightsaber through the door. I always liked that part. It was pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised rewatching it how fearful they really were of the Jedi. You know, when they were in the command center, and I mean, they made them.
People were like, "Whoa, Jedi!"
Seem like very violent, and you know, obviously
if
powerful.
they're here, that means that we're being killed.
Right.
Executioners.
When they legitimately did come for negotiations.
Yeah.
It seemed an odd take on something that's supposed to be so light that I never really cared about when I was 9.
Yeah.
You were just like, ooh.
I still don't really care about it, but
yes, you do.
it's something I noticed now that I did not notice then.
And I feel like the movie does a good job of introducing you to, like, you know, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, back and forth. And Qui-Gon is a badass Jedi, so...
He's probably my favorite Jedi, if we're going to be honest. Actually, 2 of my favorite heroes and villains are in Phantom Menace and only Phantom Menace.
So here's a weird tangent. This is about a movie that technically doesn't exist yet. But so they do an Obi-Wan, and it's Ewan McGregor. Could you see, like, so it'd most likely be set between 3 and 4. But could you see flashbacks to a time right up before Episode 1 with him and Qui-Gon where he's remembering some of that final training since that was the last of his training?
Yeah, they
and
could
then
do
we get
that.
to see Liam Neeson come back and be Qui-Gon a little bit more.
Because otherwise you can have him pop up as a Force Ghost.
That too.
Because Qui-Gon was the first one to figure it out.
Yes,
so.
he was.
Because, there was actually an interview this week.
Which maybe that's...
Liam Neeson was asked if he'd ever come back to Star Wars, and he's like, yeah, they haven't talked to me, but I would.
Just don't make me talk to a tennis ball for 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
That was what he had to do with Jar Jar.
Well, he was actually wearing like a weird head thing on top of his head a lot of the time.
Sometimes he just had to stare like an X on the wall.
I'm sure. And
that'd be weird.
Liam Neeson still brought his A game to the movie. There's probably a really goofy, silly shoot for that movie. Because a lot of stuff has never been done until that movie, like green screen wise and whatnot. So no one really had experience filming that way. And here, Liam Neeson brought his A game at least.
Well, he's a professional.
Yeah, that's true. He's Irish, Crazy Irish. So then, obviously, the, trade talks go sour. And
Federation invades.
Boom. They end up on Naboo.
And they crash land, and they're outrunning the droid deployment things.
They don't crash land.
Okay.
They stow away on a ship.
On a ship.
Touche.
On one of the battle droid ship things, yeah.
That is true. That's basically like crash landing.
I guess.
Virtually.
Sure.
Controlled crash.
Then we run into Gozie's favorite character.
Jar Jar Binks, my home guy. He literally just jumps on Qui-Gon and is like, carry me to safety.
Yeah.
And just screams in his face. It's hilarious.
Because he almost got whacked.
Yeah.
Qui-Gon saved his life.
And then he saved his life again because he almost got shot or something. And then he's like, oh yeah, let's go to my house.
So that I'm banned from.
Yeah.
I know
you two are strangers, but let me show you this super secret society.
And you find out that Jedis have this randomly weird...
The breather thing.
So they can breathe in water at any time. So that's pretty...
I always thought this was a cool scene, though.
Like the city was super cool.
Yeah, when they throw those on and they go swimming, the music's like... Doo, doo, like really like crazy, like mysterious sounding. It's not like that.
Yeah, no, that was a good part.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
And they have their whole conversation with that guy.
Boss Nass.
Which, whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to revisit that world in a separate movie. The whole Naboo thing between them and the Republic. And then,
I never really understood why they even had an army in the first place, let alone an army that was clearly set up to work on land. like they had
the
those,
Gungans.
like, I know
Yeah.
we're skipping
Well,
ahead, but those
because-
giant creatures that had their shields.
What about in their past? They were probably on land, but then they came to like a resolution with the people that were like, okay, we'll be on land since y'all can live in water. Y'all just go to water and stay in the water.
Yeah, but they didn't even have an army. They said that. So I don't know.
They had they had a super tiny, teeny, tiny army.
They had this like a security force.
Still, they had ships and stuff. Anakin got one.
How did they assemble? Like, I mean, they had like giant dinosaur-looking things that held their shield generators.
I don't remember what those are called.
Were those underwater with them?
Could have been. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, you know, for once, like I feel like Naboo kind of has like most Star Wars planets one climate. Naboo is kind of most like Earth, where it seems like maybe there's a little bit of other stuff. Some swamps, some plains, some ocean. I don't know.
Seems like a very tropically,
I guess.
Wooded area.
Semi-tropical area.
Like rainforesty.
Yeah,
maybe. So, yeah, and then they, after meeting with the main Gungans, then they are sent through the planet core.
With all these crazy fish that try and eat them.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger fish.
Oh, yeah, a lot of Jar Jar in that.
A lot of,
Yeah, literally Jar Jar is screaming his head off in that ship, and Qui-Gon Jinn just has to sit there and be like, oh, we'll make it just fine.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's just like, man,
I don't know what's going on.
This is some messed up stuff right here.
I'm just Obi-Wan.
How does he get the back seat, by the way? Why would Jar Jar not get banished to the back seat?
Because they think Jar Jar kind of lives.
I wouldn't let that guy anywhere near a button in a ship that we're driving through the core of a planet in. I'll tell you that much.
And I do have to say, the effects, they haven't aged too bad.
No, they really weren't. I mean, it's nothing that you couldn't tell was CGI, but it's not bad.
It's not bad, but it just looks like you're playing
A
like
little
some
cartoonish.
PC game.
Yeah, a little cartoonish.
Especially when you got the just complete droid armies going against the Gungans. It's like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
It's like Rome Total War, but with Star Wars characters. This is cool.
Yeah, and with Jar Jar, without him, we wouldn't have the crazy motion capture characters like the Planet of the Apes and stuff, because Jar Jar was like
one of the first
ones, which is, and you can tell obviously CG,
not
but
very good.
But a lot
of time it just seemed like he was just in his own little area, just kind of like woo, hitting himself with his own ears every time he turned his head.
Yeah. You just slap yourself?
Yeah, those were his ears. So he turned his head, come this way, and then they wrap around and smack him in the face.
Yeah, and I do also have to say, I like the design of the ships in the Phantom Menace.
Oh, they have some of my favorite ships.
Yeah.
Especially
what's
the
the name of her?
ship.
Of her Naboo ship.
It's just like I don't.
They say it, and he talks about it when he's selling it, or using it as bargaining.
That silver looks nice. Yeah, sleek
cool.
and silver.
The Naboo starfighters also.
Yeah, they got a sleek look.
The
yellow.
yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure I've seen this before, but when R2's sitting in it, like the bottom half of him just doesn't exist. So that was kind of an oversight. You ever see him in there and like from the side view, like his body should be hanging out the bottom side of the ship. Have you never seen that?
Don't question George Lucas.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't know. But overall, I like the design. I know a lot of people were like, why does everything look so nice? It's only like 30, 40 years before the originals. We'll just...
That's just that planet.
Yeah.
Like, they
got
look
some
very
nice stuff.
wealthy and like...
Yes, they were very wealthy, peaceful.
Yeah. And they went,
it seemed like their ships were less built around, big armies and having an armada, but, they needed a small fleet of quick, nimble ships, and that's what they had.
So they had, yeah. And it was more like classical time. If you think of it, it's kind of like the Renaissance time of a galaxy far, far away. Everyone's in some fancy clothes.
Very fancy hair.
Very
fancy. If you're a queen or a fake queen.
Yeah.
Oh, Natalie Portman.
Yeah. So, yeah, obviously, yeah, then They go through the core. Then they finally meet the normal Nabooans. Nabooans. And then... and they have to get the hell out of there because the Trade Federation took over.
Invaded, man. Started massacring folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, they take off in that ship. Yeah. On their way out, they get clipped. That's where we meet R2-D2.
This is true.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Brave droid.
He's the only one who made it out of the 4 that went up on that ship's outside. He fixed it, came back in.
Yeah. Just enough to get away to
Tatooine. Shithole.
Yes.
As Trump would call it. Kyle, too, probably.
No, Tatooine is a shithole.
Just like Jakku.
Well, that is pretty much nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it was kind of cool because obviously in the original Star Wars, you saw Mos Eisley and a moisture farm. So this, you saw a little bit bigger town, I believe, than Mos Eisley? Or is that actually Mos Eisley?
I was wondering that when I was watching it today.
I don't remember.
I mean, obviously, the styles were exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they obviously don't mention it in the movie, but
yeah,
I don't know that I've ever read anything that would...
I don't remember. Someone will probably let us know. They'll be like, that was whatever, guy. And I'll be like, okay, guy.
You're bitter about that, aren't you?
Because you can look it up on the internet. We are not doing that right now. We're talking to you folks. But
yeah, they would say, why don't you be professional and do research?
Yeah.
I just watched it, man, okay?
Apparently they don't know how to do internet shows prepared.
Yeah,
no,
that's why we're not getting paid for any of this.
Yeah, exactly. We do this for fun. But we meet everyone's favorite grumpy junk dealer / slave owner, Watto.
Played by Greg Proops.
Yes.
Who is that?
Comedian.
What? Whose line is it anywhere? He's on there all the time.
Which guy is he on? Whose line is he?
He was one of the rotating ones. Yeah, the glasses.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
There's a few times where his voices really shift as Watto, and you can definitely tell.
Yeah. He basically kind of sounds like a grumpy Jewish guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Just a little bit, throwing it out there. A few of the aliens sound, a little stereotypical, but it's okay. Whatever, George. Whatever you had in your brain, you just work it.
Especially the Gungans, actually, now that we're saying that. I mean, they were portrayed to be the dumbest things.
Gungans
even the smartest
dumb.
of the...
And then obviously
Until later episodes, they look all classy.
And then the Trade Federation guys, we were supposed to have a deal.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of... What accent was that supposed to be?
Mine or is theirs?
No, I got that.
Mine, I don't know. I tried. I'm bad at accents, you guys. So I'm sorry. We lost Gozie.
We lost one.
We lost one already. But,
where were we at?
Back to Tatooine. We meet Watto, and then what do you know? Little Annie, little orphan Annie.
Little Annie.
I guess he's not an orphan because he's got a
mama.
So
they're just slaves.
The Force.
And they were owned by a Fett. I can't remember what the Fett was. I think it was a Lady Fett. It wasn't Boba though.
No,
they were owned.
They were sold by Hutts.
Fets.
Yeah, sold by Hutts. Yeah,
not Jabba the Hutt. I got confused there for a second.
It's okay.
But yeah,
okay. We do meet Jabba the Hutt in the movie though. You see him at the pod race.
He passes out.
Yeah.
Then his weird looking friend who looks like the guy who gets boobs on his head and Little Nicky. He wakes him up.
Oh man, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
But yeah, Bib Fortuna makes and he has a lady Hutt with him. Yeah, or it could be a sister or a daughter. I don't really know.
That would still be a Lady Hutt.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah,
not a Pizza Hut though.
We meet little Annie, and what do you guys think about things on Tatooine?
I mean, they were very much meant for a 9-year-old or somewhere around there. I mean, it was all very straightforward.
I don't know. I wasn't really happy with, the child slavery thing being shoved down my throat. That was really... It's being shoved down my throat.
Yeah, you thought so?
No,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I was just
He was
picking on
trying
Kyle.
to make.
I was trying to make
It
it didn't land at all.
Gotcha.
But anyway,
Gotcha.
continue what you were saying.
What do you guys feel about little Orphan Annie building?
He's not orphan.
I know, but it's fun to say.
He's Jesus. He's
Slave
the
Annie.
chosen one, and you know it. I know you can see it. His future is cloudy.
But
That's
what do you think about him building the one that built C-3PO? Do you have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem with that.
No, why
'Cause
would I? have
I'm
a
assuming there's
It's his
like
best friend.
there's plans out there for these kinds of protocol droids, and he's just using stuff he finds around his junkyard and
It's true.
trying to put one together. You know, like a very big Lego kit.
Yeah.
For Star Wars.
Dude's got mad skills building stuff.
With pretty much everything.
And he's the only human to ever pod race.
Yes, he is.
Just
Yes.
saying, that makes him pretty unique.
Yeah. There are no other. I forgot about that.
The Force runs through him.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
true.
Because Qui-Gon's like, oh, you must have
Midichlorians.
Jedi-like you must have Jedi reflexes if you can do
and then
that.
he catches a tongue.
Don't do that again.
Yeah. And then, obviously, find out
Jar Jar.
midi-chlorians.
Yes.
What do you guys think about midi-chlorians?
Anakin has way more than Master Yoda. So clearly, Yoda's
I had
like,
just accepted it. You
Yeah,
know,
no
I
problem with
wasn't.
I was a kid. I didn't
Yeah.
even. I don't think I even was paying attention during that part. I was just like, ah, look at Jar Jar eating fruit with his tongue. Funny guy.
Clearly now it doesn't line up with what they're trying to do for the rest of it, or
Yeah.
at least they've ignored that
Yeah.
for the rest of the stories. But
Just kind of the, scientific way of explaining.
I mean, it kind of explains how they get or they find the Jedi initiates. You
That's
know,
true.
They've got
They got
these
trackers and
testing
stuff.
Midichlorian
sensors.
count.
Yeah. And they said,
Yeah,
had you
that
been
raises
part
off
of the
the chain.
Republic, yeah.
So Qui-Gon
would've
seems to
found
be
it.
all about the midi-chlorians.
Yeah.
And also, did you get the feeling like him and Anakin's mom were like, hey,
Shmi.
yeah, Shmi. They had a little connection going on.
Guess he should have bought her. Like the next husband that did.
You know he didn't Jedi mind trick that coin, because if he had, he would have totally had her, because he could have smashed.
The coin doesn't have a mind to trick.
Well, I mean, he could have flipped it, though, because it's just an object.
No, but
He
it
could have controlled
was
how
for the
it-
dice, though.
The dice.
He did it with the
whatever.
dice, but he did do a roll.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's something actually I never understood, how he didn't roll it to the both of them. That would have saved a lot of problems.
No, he can't get both of them.
I could have swore he gave
The
that
deal,
as an option.
No,
No, the deal was you can roll, and if you roll this, you get the boy. Roll that, you get her.
and the parts for the.
Yeah,
and
you
parts
get-
for the
you
ship
This
that
was
are
the
part of it.
side. Yeah, this was the side bet.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah, it was
I
always
don't know
one or
why
the
I was
other.
thinking that there was a third option for both of them. So forget
Nope.
that I said that.
You only got one or the other. Yeah. He's like, the boy or his mother.
Although I'm not
Is
sure
how Watto put it.
why they never came back and got her. What are you doing here, man?
I'm itching myself.
Okay.
I'm itchy.
This is.
Don't worry about it.
Well,
Don't
why-
worry
I
about
never
it.
understood why they never came back and just. I mean, it seems like a simple thing. To
Well,
come
I
back and
I
get
don't
the
know
mother-
why they just didn't take her in the first place.
Or say,
like,
I'm a Jedi. What are you gonna do?
yeah, it's
I'm
like,
taking
well, the
this
Hutts
slave.
aren't going to come after you because they don't care. And what's Watto going to do?
Yeah. I don't know. Qui-Gon's a man of his word. Kind of. Obviously, he cheated, but.
He cheated and disobeys the
Yeah.
Jedi Council.
Well, that's because he ain't about the Jedi Council. Because he
He
could have
ain't
been
about
on it, but he's like, nah.
He's just a knight,
He's like, I'm Qui-Gon.
which
Jinn,
sounds a
son.
lot cooler actually to me than a Jedi Master. I don't know why. I've always liked the term Jedi Knight. That's just me.
No, it is pretty sweet. Yeah. And then obviously we get to pod racing, which I feel like
Pretty awesome.
is awesome, but do you think it's too long?
I don't care. I know a lot of people say it's too long. When I watch it,
No, it's exciting. Because,
I don't care.
it's kind of the excitement in the middle of the movie because, things kind of slow down a little bit on Tatooine, pacing-wise. So then you get, like, this kind of big, and the sounds of the pod race are sweet. All the different pod racers,
Yeah,
like,
they are.
cool. Yeah.
That was cute.
Yeah.
That was so cute, guys.
Cute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, think so much like.
And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I strangely like the weird pod racer announcer guy. I know
I love it.
it's goofy. He kind of sounds like Norm Macdonald a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it Norm Macdonald?
I have no idea.
It was always weird that, they announced it in 2 languages at the beginning and then just kind of...
He just kept with English, yeah.
English.
Basic, I guess. Sorry.
Basic.
Well, no, whenever he talked, the other thing spit out words. The phrases were just shorter because
it's a more condensed language.
Because, like, everything.
Right. What I still don't know, they must have had, like, cameras everywhere, though.
Yeah.
Because how were they announcing this? And I don't know.
I don't know, each pod thing had their own, maybe just satellites, man. It's futuristic societies.
Yeah. But it's crazy. It's a dangerous race. Tusken Raiders out in a boot. And
Just camping out on
Just-
the right bank.
yeah.
Only for that first lap, though, then they gave up.
Yeah, they did. And how terrible are all these other pod racers if Anakin was in dead last and he caught all the way up?
See, I think that's why it has to be so long. Because they're kind of slowing down, trying to just fight with each other, and he just has to fly up
Yeah.
to catch up. That's how I justify it.
Saboba.
Saboda.
Dick.
Plus,
Yeah,
he's got
it's
the
a cheater.
fastest pod racer ever built.
Yeah, man.
And he's got the force.
Yeah, So, yeah, obviously Anakin wins, blah, blah, blah. Free, so he's got to say bye to his mama. And that's, like, the moment where, yeah, he's sad, but then you get, like, that Star Wars music. And it's like, well, he's finally on his destiny now. And then we get some sweet action.
Yes.
Anakin, dock!
Yeah.
Or down!
Drop.
Drop.
But he just kind of slowly falls forward. But I don't know what kid would ever just fall if you told them to drop.
No, especially
What? And then he would have been decapitated.
especially in some freaking sand, man. And yeah, I do have to say, Darth Maul's like speeder thing. Is
Oh, that
awesome.
thing is sweet.
Yeah,
Even though it looks kind of like a moped, they just took the wheels off a moped.
Jesus Christ, man.
Well, it does.
but
It's still cool, but it looks like a moped.
It does.
I thought this duel they should have.
They could have made that last
just a little bit longer because it's freaking awesome. Darth Maul comes flying off that thing. Qui-Gon knows he's like, shit's going down. Immediately lightsaber and fighting.
We haven't seen the Sith have been dead. No.
for millennia.
No.
Yeah, Qui-Gon knows. He
Every
knows
time I
things
saw
are
the
no
counselor,
good.
though, you could definitely tell that was Palpatine.
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought,
yeah.
he very much, there was no, them not knowing. I was
He
like,
is-
how not?
The Senate.
Because, yeah, and I guess in
Well, this is when he becomes the Senate. I
Yes.
should say.
in the original movies, do they ever actually call him Emperor Palpatine or just the Emperor?
I'm pretty sure it's just the Emperor.
The Emperor.
But then maybe in
And-
merchandise or something, toys, it might have said
Um,
Palpatine. I don't know. Because I feel like while watching the prequels, I'm pretty sure you had a pretty good idea that was the Palpatine.
I'm
I
trying to
think at
remember
some
back
point
to
they
the-
did, because I'm pretty sure.
Just trying to remember back to the first time I watched Phantom Menace, if I knew that was him, and I can't remember
Yeah.
if I knew that or not.
Yeah, obviously him and Darth Sidious look very much alike, but he's got the hood.
He's got the hood, but this whole
the
you can
nose.
you can see all of this, and it's like, cool. I can see just not one of your eyes. Like, okay, I know who you are.
Yeah, he was just tricking the Trade Federation. They were pretty dumb. So
They were.
Yeah, they were very...
for people being in charge of a bunch of money, they're dumb.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. But sweet fight with Darth Maul and Qui-Gon,
Absolutely.
and it was kind of cool because Qui-Gon was tired. He wore him out from that
He
fight.
was tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kind of got on the ship and just fell down. And
He's like, whew.
by the way, do you think his every time I see his lightsaber, I think it looks the most toyish. Like
No, it is
the cheapest plasticky looking thing.
It is basic looking, yes.
That's because he's a minimalist.
Well, you can do minimalist. It just looks cheap.
No, it does look like a toy, yeah. No, I can see that. It looks like it's made out of plastic and not metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see that. And, well, because I think Obi-Wan in this movie kind of has a basic looking lightsaber like that, too.
I can't even remember what his actually looks like, to be honest.
I think it
Yeah.
looks very much like Qui-Gon's, but it's blue instead of green.
It was this scene that really did it for me, because when he
Okay.
falls back onto the ship,
You see it?
he lets go of his lightsaber, and it's right in front of the camera. So
Yeah,
that's why I bring that up.
So then, then they head to Coruscant.
Yeah.
Coruscant or Coruscant.
Coruscant.
Apparently,
To
no one
go
knows.
see
The
the
city planet.
Senate.
Yeah. And while on that flight, what do you guys think about creepy?
It's cold.
Yeah, creepy relationship between Padme and Anakin. He's clearly a child, and then they end up together. Do you find that weird?
Well, I'm still trying to figure all that out. Like, so does she age slower than the normal
I
person?
thought she was like 13 or 14 in that.
I think so, yeah.
And I'm basing that off of the Weird Al song. But that's what I'm going off of. You know, the American
No, because
Pie remake.
I think the Queens of Naboo are teenagers, which
Yeah.
is weird.
Yeah, she's like 13 or 14. So it's
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
yeah, it would have
That's
been
not
weird.
so-
So
at that
he's like
time,
9, 10. So
but
That's
after a
not that
couple
bad.
years, it would have been
yeah,
less weird.
he makes her a weird little.
She
bone
should have gone
necklace.
after the older man in Obi-Wan because he was way more stable. Not
And
really,
wise.
but
He was wise.
wise, even wiser
Qui-Gon
than
even
Qui-Gon.
says,
Yep.
Yeah.
wiser than I.
Yeah.
So they actually laid down a pretty good foundation for Obi-Wan, I think, in this.
Yeah, yeah,
For
because
what his character is and why his character is, you know, the way he is in A New Hope.
I feel like a lot of the prequel trilogy is you see Obi-Wan
Yeah.
kind of become the Jedi, along with Anakin, kind of. Yeah,
Till he roasts his ass.
yeah. So,
Burn him up.
because in this movie,
That's for another episode.
Burn. Oh yeah. We got. We still got
just
another,
wait.
We still
just
got another
wait.
movie to go before that one.
Yeah, and so blah blah blah. They get to Coruscant, and then we get our first taste of Senate meeting.
And Palpatine's manipulation of
We need a
of the
commission.
Queen.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy Palpatine in the prequel movies because he is just a master manipulator.
he is.
It's
Using the Force.
yeah,
Oh,
creepy dude.
random because that just made me think. I did like how on Tatooine, when he first goes to talk to the fly dude, Watto, he's like trying to Jedi mind
yeah.
trick him. He's like, no, what are you doing?
Dude.
Only money, bro.
Only money.
Like-
works.
Only money.
Yeah,
Was that
Kind of-
was
that
that
was
better?
actually pretty
Yeah.
That was
close,
better.
yeah.
All right.
But it just kind of blew my mind, like being a Jedi Knight. Like you didn't know his being was that.
You got to know there's a lot of creatures out there. I'm sure he didn't know all of them. Plus, they're in an outer rim area.
Yeah.
too.
I think mainly their Jedi work stays within the
So
main.
do you think he knows he can't do it to Hutts then, or do you think he maybe
I think he knows
Like
that because the Hutts are more well known.
he's a gangster?
The gangsters.
Gangsters.
The Hutts, they're gangsters.
Oh.
And then, we get a Senate thing, and then we get our first taste of the Jedi Council.
Yes. Bunch
Yes.
of douchebags.
Yeah, they are a bunch of dicks. And
Well, they were right.
because what version of the Phantom Menace did you see? Did you see Puppet Yoda, or did you see the newer Phantom Menace where they
Yeah.
digitized him?
I saw digital.
I don't know. It was on Amazon, so
Probably the newer one with digital Yoda, because otherwise the original cut of the Phantom Menace,
Puppet
he
Yoda.
is a weird puppet.
Yeah,
Doesn't look
it
like
wasn't
the normal
bad.
puppet. He looks like a creepy Yoda.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, scared you will be. and he gives like these crazy eyes. It's terrifying. It's pretty awesome, but
they were just straight spitting in Qui-Gon's face, man.
no, yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't care, man. That's how cool he is.
Yeah.
I love
And he
Qui-Gon.
straight says it to their face like, fuck.
I'm still going to
Tell me no, I don't care. It's happening, yo.
Which actually brings up an interesting point of if the Jedi Council says no, and he clearly can still disobey them without much repercussion. I mean, what exactly does the Council have control over?
They counsel. They don't have control. They just counsel.
Well, they still appoint missions, and they can still expel you from the Jedi Order. But I don't think he.
So
They kind of liked his rebellious nature. I feel like, and he was very
he was
powerful.
balanced.
Yeah, he's powerful.
He was.
Yeah. So I don't know, and obviously, I think things led to just I don't know.
Because both of them, I mean, said, no, we heard the greatest of the greatest Jedi councils and went against him. So.
Yeah, we meet Mace Windu. There's a lot of good, crazy looking Jedi. Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah.
You get like in the Phantom Menace, you see a Jedi that kind of looks like Yoda. Did you see that
Just
one?
kind of in the back.
Kind of in the background,
back.
yeah. You never see them. Yeah, there's a bunch of background Jedi that you just only see in the
Missed it.
Phantom Menace.
Yeah, you get the long neck, the real long neck one.
Yeah. Don't remember the name. I just remember the main ones, Ki-Adi-Mundi and Kit Fisto and whatnot. But and yeah, so then they were not on Coruscant too long, I don't believe.
No, because
No,
then
just
she's like,
long enough for
I'm going
I
back to
get
my
what-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they
The
get out of
Emperor
there.
finally gets his, Senator finally gets
Senator.
his.
Yeah.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't
power.
have his power yet. He's just in the running
Running.
because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
him, homie from Alderaan,
Yeah, it was gonna be Organa actually.
Mhm.
and then somebody else.
That would have turned out completely different.
So I don't think it's until Clone Wars that we find out who wins that.
No, well, he's the Supreme Chancellor at the beginning of Attack of the Clones.
Okay,
so
so
obviously,
it happens in between.
Yeah,
Well, they come back in
at the
Phantom
end.
Menace and they say we won the vote.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think at the
I
end of
missed
the
that.
movie,
Yeah.
he's actually appointed.
when they're doing their celebration.
Yeah, I think he's actually appointed or something. So,
Yeah, because he goes back to Naboo when they're doing the celebration.
Yeah. so it says, "Yeah, I've been elected." Blah blah blah. And then he has a really. We'll get into that. We'll just at the end.
That's right. He has, yeah.
But so then they go back to Naboo. They gotta somehow convince the Gungans to help them fight, even though clearly some bad blood went between the Gungans and the main Nabooans.
And that's when Natalie Portman reveals her true self.
Yeah. She
Because
switched.
she's Padme at this point,
Yeah.
not the queen. Then she comes out as like,
Did you know the?
we are yours.
OSD.
And then he went,
You think you know better than Gungans?
But yeah, and I remember Anakin's face. He's like, "What?" But Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan just gave each other a look like, "Yeah, we knew
His
the whole
smirk.
time. We knew the whole time."
There's the Qui-Gon smirk there.
Yeah. So, and did you know that imposter queen is actually Keira Knightley?
I did not know that.
Keira Knightley.
that makes sense.
Well, I mean, she's in full.
Makeup, you can't really
Full
tell.
on,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
except
whole
you get
time.
to see her at one point when Annie comes by when they're on Coruscant.
No, she's all done up there too, because she
No.
comes around the corner and says she's gone. Or I
That's-
sent her on a mission.
That's Natalie Portman in makeup.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah,
No, it is,
that's my
though.
bad. Then
Yeah,
I guess
tricky.
Yeah, because Knightley is the one that opens the door, I'm pretty sure.
I thought that was a cool little twist, actually.
Little twist.
You know, it was an interesting little thing. Kept you on your toes. You're like, oh, okay.
That makes sense.
She's crafty. So yeah, obviously they convince the Gungans. They fight.
The droids.
Yes, things start.
Jar Jar stumbled his way into victory.
This massive land army that I'm still not sure where it came from, but yes, it's there.
They're sweet glowy ball things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What does he call him? Like boom something or.
Oh my god! What is it
I
called?
can't remember what they're called.
Shit. Oh well,
Man.
unimportant right
Yeah,
now.
unimportant. So blah blah
So
blah.
that happens. Anakin's they're like, stay in the cockpit of the Naboo fighter thing. So he's chilling in there
He's like, okay, I will.
while they're running around.
And then the magic happens. The door opens.
Darth Maul's
Darth
dope ass
frickin'
music
Maul,
starts.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, what you waited the entire movie for. You're like, yes.
He talked a lot more in the movie than I remembered too.
I had the same
'Cause-
thought.
Especially the first time he spoke, I was like, wait. I didn't think he talked in this whole movie, and he just said like
He says
5 lines.
He says a few lines. He's like, at last we'll reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we'll have revenge. And then,
He should have spoke more.
I don't know. I
what else
kinda
does he
like
say
that
besides that?
didn't.
Yeah, he kind
I
of,
can't remember.
he remains like,
He's
He's mysterious, but
yeah.
he's badass.
Yeah, but you know that. You just know he's a badass.
he's basically like a crazy assassin guy in this movie. And obviously they expanded his character in Clone Wars
Yeah.
and stuff, but in a way that doesn't feel like Darth Maul. Kind of
No.
feels like a different character.
Darth Maul, boy.
Although I'm still not sure how he was able to actually find them on Tatooine. I know we went back in the movie now, but
No, because he had that little droid, the flying droid, and it flew
Well-
into town, so I think it spotted them.
well, yeah. But how did they know they were on Tatooine in the first place? Because I mean,
Let me remember.
the Trade Federation said, "Oh, we can't track
Oh,
him anymore,"
because-
and he wasn't nowhere. Either.
I believe they let Palpatine know they were going to Tatooine.
Oh.
So then I think Palpatine then in turn told Darth Maul to hunt them there.
Well,
Yeah.
did they?
I
Because I
don't know, because they left it
didn't
in her. Yeah, they
communicate
couldn't send
anything.
out any transmissions. It's a good question. It's a very good question.
Could have just used the Force.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just saying.
What
I
an
don't know, man.
answer!
I don't know.
The
man.
Force.
The midichlorians, man.
He tracked the
Uh,
midichlorians.
But yeah,
There's obviously a huge concentration when you have the most ever in this tiny child, and you got Qui-Gon and such. It's a lot of calorians.
I wasn't sure if you would know. I just thought about that
I'm
watching
trying
it.
I'm
today.
trying to remember. Something I'll have to think about. I'll get back to you on that. I'll look into it. And then obviously we get one of the coolest lightsaber battles in all of
Yes.
Star Wars.
Yes.
And coolest music pieces along with it.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure what those shields did, though. You know, where they're...
In the hallway.
Yeah.
And they're running, and it's
What
like,
are
oh,
they
no,
doing?
we gotta stop.
They had to keep people from going to the other room and falling down a giant hole.
Then why not just keep them on?
I don't know.
And just have one?
I don't know why they were in that certain
Because they want to fuck with people and give them false hope.
Because it looked cool, okay? It looked real cool.
And that, and
And it-
continuing the giant holes with no railing.
Yeah, there was no railings anywhere in that area, which was
They really need OSHA. And
yeah. There is
Star
no
Wars.
OSHA in Star Wars. No.
They don't believe in railings, man. It's a waste of metal.
I guess.
But yeah, Duel is awesome. You see some sweet stuff.
Qui-Gon.
It's actually one of the few times that they actually, use the Force as part of the
Battle.
lightsaber battle. I mean, Maul uses Force push a few times, and
Yeah, they
Uses-
jump.
He
real
opened a
high.
door with the Force, too. He, ripped the thing off.
yes,
That was pretty sweet.
that's cool.
In Revenge of the Sith, you see Force powers between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and obviously Yoda and the Emperor, and in
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but they're always used on external. Maybe I'm just not remembering it because I haven't
No.
watched the other two.
Yeah.
But it seems like one of the few where they're using it on the other faction.
Gotcha. And then obviously, while the big lightsaber battle's going on, it cuts between the Gungan battle, and then
Ooh, Annie.
little Annie goes to space.
The R2 disables the autopilot, and he's like, I'm staying in the cockpit. It's what Qui-Gon told me to do, so I'm gonna do it. And then he just starts Luke Skywalkering the shit and just destroying everything. Flies up
From
into the ship.
inside out.
Yep.
And he does the spin
After
move
he does the,
that Kylo Ren then does in The Last Jedi.
but
He's
he
like,
has
let's
to tell
spin.
you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because he had no idea what he was doing.
But when he pops out, the dudes are like, "Oh, we've got one coming out of the flight bay."
Yeah.
And then they're just all cheering. No one's like,
why is a 9-year-old?
"Who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah.
He's not from Naboo. He's always cold, for God's sakes.
He can't be in space without a blankie.
Which I knew what George was going for.
Can't even be on Coruscant. He was cold then too. He's I'm cold. How do you feel? I feel cold. Are you fearful? I'm cold. Just always so cold. Yeah, that's your soul.
Well,
It's ice
he just had to
cold.
leave his mother. You know,
I can
Yeah.
cry,
like,
baby.
you're still gonna be a slave, but I'm off to be a Jedi, Mom. Peace.
Now I'm just a Jedi slave.
Yeah, essentially. He just gets taught cooler things instead of piling junk.
Instead of building shit,
But
you're now destroying shit.
But you don't get to really own anything because Jedi can't have possessions.
No.
Blah blah blah. They
Or
probably.
relationships
do you think-
with anything.
Do you think
They just sit around in that fucking room all day.
Do you think they like eat like?
They don't need anything.
Do
they
they
survive
eat,
off
like-
the Force?
But do you think they're like monks, or they're like vegetarians, or do you think they actually get to eat meat?
I don't know.
Jake, they're different species.
I don't know.
Some
what
of them might
Star
not know
Wars
what
things
meat and
eat.
vegetables are, okay?
All right, whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I'm pretty sure...
Or do they just got like pills? You know, meal pills.
It's true. They just
Molly Percocet.
I bet they just down milk of every color. Milk is what gives them their nutrition.
You have to milk it yourself.
Yeah,
though.
you got to find something to milk.
They're made of milk. They're going to be on the new milk commercials.
Which that's what I forgot last week. I was gonna color our white Russians with a hint of green to make the infamous Luke Skywalker green milk, but I forgot.
Delicious.
But they were good. But back on track. So obviously, I knew what George was going for with this whole cutting around to like 3 major battles to be like Return of the Jedi. But I feel like the one battle between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon seemed like the most serious.
Yeah.
So I would have not liked, maybe just like...
Put the other
Well,
two
the other
together.
two were very silly. I mean,
yes, they were very silly.
the Gungans, obviously.
Yeah. Jar Jar doing his
Jar Jar.
Jar
It's a
Jar
slapstick
stuff.
battle.
Yeah, it is. And then you have Annie going, woo! Yippee!
Yep.
Once again, George's fault. The kid did not make... It's not like an adult. Those were not character decisions made by an adult. That was George Lucas being like, you should
But you know what?
do that.
For a 9-year-old me, it worked.
Oh, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. You
I
were
didn't
like,
care.
man, I got to blow that stuff up, too. But, yeah, so obviously Anakin blows all that stuff up because he's...
All that stuff.
Yeah.
The Federation ship.
So then the Gungans get lucky because Anakin blows that up, and so all the droids are
Everything.
disabled. Yeah. So they're like, ooh, and then they just push
Which
him
you
over.
would think you would have a little bit better defense if your entire invasion was focused around one ship.
Yeah.
Well,
they
would defend that ship a little bit better.
Well, they apparently didn't think anyone was going to fly directly into the hangar and blow it
Well,
up from the inside.
But there weren't that many, fighters around
No.
it or
They had-
shields or anything.
They had droid fighters, so they were going on calculations. I don't know.
sure.
They didn't count that human element in there.
The soul.
Or, they didn't account for a little kid being a little kid flying a ship, apparently.
Yippee!
And
Our one downfall.
so you see
We
all
didn't defend against 9-year-olds.
you see all that goofy stuff, and then it cuts back to like Qui-Gon meditating because he's about to like
Get stabbed
get
up in his
stabbed from
stomach.
Darth Maul, man, like some dark shit. Qui-Gon's meditating because he knows it's the end for him.
But then Obi-Wan slices that motherfucker in half.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the thing. When he sees Qui-Gon die,
He gets
Obi-Wan
enraged.
is pissed.
He's
Yeah.
enraged. He's using fear 100%. He used the dark side to kill Darth Maul.
I think so. He was
100%.
fighting hard.
He chopped his badass lightsaber in half.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing of what his body would be. Not 2 minutes later.
Yeah, because Obi-Wan loses his lightsaber down the shaft, so it's Qui-Gon's. He force pulls, right? Yeah, and cuts Maul in half. Yeah, so that's the first thing of like, I don't know. Apparently every villain in the prequels somewhat is a symbol for like Darth Vader or something. It was like something crazy I was reading.
What?
Oh, yeah, no. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, because they were like, Darth Maul was apparently just like his like pure anger and hatred.
Yeah.
Then like Count Dooku
was the culmination of man and machine, like Darth Vader became.
Well,
like
Count Dooku
Or
was the fallen like a
it.
fallen Jedi.
Fallen Jedi.
And then General Grievous was like all
The
machine. So
machine
then that
man.
like those three was what Vader was or something. See, George had some crazy ideas in the prequels, so I'll give it to the man.
Should have just gotten someone else to write it.
But I will say my two favorite characters died in that one scene. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. That was pretty shitty.
I guess with things the way they are now, I could still hold out hope that we could see their characters a couple times. You never know with the spin-off movies going on.
Yeah.
I'll hold out hope that Darth Maul might make an appearance in some
'Cause
films sometime
you gotta
eventually.
imagine Obi-Wan's gonna have some sort of a flashback to that moment, because that's pretty crucial.
Pretty life-altering.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing with they made a Darth Maul movie. The guy that played him necessarily, he doesn't have to be younger because he's in all makeup.
Yeah, you just put on makeup, put on some horns.
Or compared, you can't really go about making a Qui-Gon Jinn movie.
Well, with all that
pre-episode
makeup,
1 or
couldn't
something.
you could recast him?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. That dude loves Darth Maul that played him, though. He goes to all these conventions and stuff.
Yeah.
He rides that Darth Maul wave.
I'd tell you, I would.
Oh, yeah, I would too. So
That definitely beats any of my crowning life achievements right there.
But did you know that guy's voice was actually dubbed over? Someone else actually voiced him.
oh, that's not surprising.
No.
There's another foreshadowing of Darth Vader.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That
You
poor
give someone
guy.
a cooler voice for.
Oh yeah, you're Darth Vader.
I never
Movie
had,
comes out. Wait, that's not my voice. That's not me. What happened? Oh, we don't know.
I never have heard that guy's actual voice, though, to be honest with you.
Ray Park.
Yeah.
He.
It wouldn't have.
I mean,
It just-
it's
well,
obviously not as badass.
It can't. It's not James Earl
Yeah.
Jones, so it doesn't matter.
He's Toad in X-Men, the first X-Men movie. Is the same guy that plays Darth Maul.
No, we're talking about Darth Vader.
Oh, but the actual guy that in the costume,
Yeah.
David Prowse. Yeah, he's like a British guy. So he spoke with a British accent the entire movie, if you can imagine that.
Well, British baddies, that's
Yeah.
what they do.
So they
But-
thought it didn't sound menacing enough.
menacing.
They
Back
didn't
to
even
what we
tell
were
him,
talking
though, right?
about, the Phantom
If I'm not
Menace.
mistaken, like they just had James Earl Jones overdub it and never told the dude. Because then he didn't find out till
Yeah,
like, he saw
I think
it.
he found out when he saw it, and he was
And
real
he's not.
pissed.
Yeah,
He's
like,
held a grudge against it his whole life.
I would too. Like at
But,
least tell me, because I can imagine he's like telling everybody, like, "Yeah, I'm the dude in this."
And
then they get
no
in there
one
and
has
they're
any
like,
idea.
"Motherfucker, that ain't you.
Yeah.
That ain't you.
And then
Do that accent right now if that's you. Do that accent right
Yeah.
now."
And in Return of the Jedi, they had someone else be once
The
they
walk-
revealed
oh.
him to
Oh,
be
the face.
inside. It wasn't even the main guy that played him. It was somebody else.
That poor guy.
So, getting down to closing this one out, the Phantom Menace. Do you think that refers to as Darth Sidious or Anakin being the Phantom Menace?
Or the Sith in general.
Or the Sith in general. Who is the Phantom Menace?
Probably the Sith.
See, for me, it was the Sith.
The Sith.
That's-
That makes sense. Yeah.
Because the whole time the Jedi are like, "They're extinct. They're
And
not around."
And that we would know, We'd be able
Oh,
to
if there's
feel it.
one, there's always when there's one, there's always two.
They're like,
There's only ever two.
Yes.
Well, that seems not smart.
Which got destroyed.
well, yeah, the ending of this movie, before the main celebration when they're like burning Qui-Gon's body, and he's
Yeah.
like, which was destroyed, the master or the apprentice? and then it pans to frickin' Palpatine, and he
He's
has a
all
look on his
smiling.
face. He's smiling.
He just
man.
got the
He's
that's right. 'Cause,
smiling.
yeah, that's when he gets his power.
Because both, his plan worked for the most part, and he became Chancellor. So
Now he's
sneaky,
just got to go find a new apprentice.
sneaky bastard. Yeah. So that will obviously. So, what are your final thoughts on the Phantom Menace?
I enjoyed it more than I remember, and I would definitely. I don't know if I'd move it up my top list.
It does not deserve the hate that it gets.
It doesn't.
Being included in the prequels as a whole, it does not deserve the hate. It's not the best Star Wars movie, clearly, but
It's
for
not-
someone like
it's
me,
not bad.
who grew up with that in that time, that's
Yeah, because
it got me into it, man.
yeah,
I loved it.
it's epic. You have these epic scenes, lightsaber battles, pod racing. You get a little bit of everything in the movie.
There are obviously parts of it that are cheesy as hell, and I don't.
Yeah, but in the
necessarily
prequels, we
like-
haven't even tapped into the cheesy, so we got more of that in the next.
Coming
two.
up next.
Attack of the Clones. This will be a doozy. I feel like
This is one where I've never seen this front to back because
really?
I've never been able to get through it because
Dude.
especially when I was younger because I was like there is nothing going on.
No.
It's raining constantly. That's all I know.
Dude, no, you got to do it. It's awesome.
I'm going to now.
It's
I have
awesome.
to because it's the next one up.
It-
I'm excited.
There's a lot of bad, but then there's some good stuff. But there's a lot of
I want
there's-
the introduction of Hayden Christensen.
there are so many good things to make fun of in this movie. Is the thing.
There's still some cool stuff.
Oh yeah, no. Detective Obi-Wan Kenobi in this entire
Yeah.
movie is awesome.
And that dude he meets, the chef dude.
Yeah.
Although we never
Dexter
finished
Jester.
up with thoughts on the
Dexter
Phantom Menace.
Oh yeah.
So-
We'll get there. Attack of the Clones the way. Closing out thoughts on. No, I actually rewatching the Phantom Menace. I felt the last time I watched it, I was feeling nostalgic about it, and I'm like, man, this is a good movie. I don't care what anyone
I
says.
still
I
love
like
it, man.
I love it.
I enjoyed it.
I'm
It
not-
was a fun watch.
Yeah, I'm not dumb enough not to be able to point out what the flaws of it are.
Yeah,
But that doesn't
it's
mean
not
I
a
don't like
fantastic
it as an
movie.
entire.
Because I do have to say, like, in the effects, Attack of the Clones may have aged worse than the Phantom Menace. Because the Phantom Menace, they still used your fair share of, like, traditional dudes in makeup and stuff, along with the CG and actual locations. Where if you watch Attack of the Clones, that entire movie was shot in front of a blue screen. They shot that movie. And then the other good thing to throw out about the Phantom Menace is the making of documentary is amazing.
Super good.
It's like it's probably the best Star Wars documentary there is because it goes like through the entire filmmaking process. You see George's, his brain of working. Steven Spielberg shows up to check out the battle droid, and he's like, "Hey, Steve, this is the new stormtrooper." Steven Spielberg is like, "Okay, George, whatever you say, bro. Whatever you say, man."
I was just reading your script, and do you want some help here?
Yeah,
No, I'm good. Okay.
yeah. And I think it's funny
It worked.
the first cut of it. He like puts together the first cut, and they all watch it, and he's like, "I think I may have gone too far." It's George Lucas's exact words. And they're like, "Oh,
What the hell does that mean?
yeah." So, because apparently, like, the original cut of the Phantom Menace is supposed to be really long. Like, he shot a lot of footage for the Phantom Menace.
Well, even then, it's like what
It's
2
not
hours
too-
and 16 minutes.
It's what
So
the
it's not a short
second
movie.
longest Star Wars. The Last Jedi is the longest now, but I think this one might be like the second longest.
Or is it third? Because wasn't Force Awakens over 2 hours?
Yeah,
Don't quote us.
Wasn't that like
Yeah.
250?
Revenge of the Sith was longer too. I know. That's like
So now we're at
220.
like 4. Gone from being the second longest to 4th.
yeah, it's somewhere in there. It's it's longer.
It's in the middle of the pack.
It could have been
It's
longer.
average.
So overall, yeah, John Williams wrote a kick-ass score for the movie.
Oh yeah.
The design, and you got to see the Jedi and the Prime, and they were badass.
You gotta see more of the worlds.
Yeah,
Seeing more
The world
Tatooine
looked
was
pretty
cool.
Yeah.
Naboo was cool.
Yeah, seeing Coruscant for the first time was like, whoa, city planet.
Except it made me just go like, man, I wish they could. Like, I want to see that city now because like
What it looks like
when they
now.
did the aerial shots, it was like, man, that's so bland, such bland computer generic. But it's because it was like just it was new.
What was it? There was a game that was going to come out, the 1313, that was
Yeah,
based in Coruscant.
it was
Like
gonna
went
be
to
like
the
the
subground
bottom,
of Coruscant. That looked real cool.
Yeah. Showed like the gritty kind of crime world
That
of it
was
all.
Bring that
watching
back.
Phantom Menace when they were leaving Naboo. It did remind me of playing Battlefront 2 because there's the palace right there. That's one of the maps. So
Yeah.
you play in the courtyard and in the palace. It's pretty sweet.
That's the original Battlefront 2.
No.
Not Battlefront 2 2.
No, that's Battlefront 2 too, like the new one.
Battlefront 2 2?
Yeah,
2-2?
like the new one
Doo-doo.
that just came out
Yeah,
this
there's
past
no
year.
boo on that.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
I have this game.
Yeah, Princess Leia fights there.
She does.
Yeah.
Well, whoever you want fights there.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
let
yeah.
anybody do it.
Well, but like during
Uh,
the main story.
Finn fights there.
No, but during the main story, it's Princess. You fight alongside Princess Leia.
Yeah.
General Leia, whatever. During
Anywho.
the main. So yeah, to wrap this bad boy up,
Again.
we actually enjoy the Phantom Menace, and I hope you do too. If not, let us know, which you probably will. So to close this out,
Well,
I'll just say, if you hate on it, give it one more chance. Go back and watch
Give it
it
a
again if you haven't watched it in a long time, and just watch it for the enjoyment of watching it. You know, you don't have to pick it apart for all the obvious holes, but just enjoy it as an experience, and it's still a pretty good movie.
put your fun pants on.
Put your fun pants on. To quote Jake.
Any closing thoughts, Gozie?
I think Fun Pants kind of closes it
I
out
don't.
there.
I don't want to say anything because
Okay.
Fun Pants took us there.
Yep.
So next time, unless we get like an actual solo trailer, we'll talk Attack of the Clones.
Even if we got a solo trailer, we
We
could probably
could-
still talk Attack of the
shoot
Clones. Yeah, we'll just shoot two.
There will also at some point be coming an Attack of the Clones.
talk through / whatever this was. So yeah, this was the Ways of the Force. Hope you have learned them wisely. I'm Jake.
I'm Kyle.
Damn Gozie.
See you next time. May the Force be with you.
And also with you.
The Ways of the Force. Yeah,
Oh, they
Nailed it.
said that a lot in Phantom Menace. May the Force
May the
be
Force
with
be
you.
with you.
Holy sh! I was like, okay.
By the way, the end of last show, you'll have to watch the ending because you said
Okay,
also
okay.
with you very creepily. We were because it was just the two of us. I
Obvious.
said, "May the Force be with you." Kyle looks over at me and also with you.